Blessed be everyone. Welcome to another Mystery Witch School live. And welcome to those of you also watching the replay. Welcome to those of you who have been waiting for it as well. It is finally here. And for those of you who are totally new, hi, my name is Sandra. On this channel, you're going to find everything based on Wicca, witchcraft, magic, tarot, and shadow work. And today we are talking about magic and manifestation. The topic today is manifesting your desires, so aligning with the energy of the universe. So we're going to talk about some of the beliefs that have come from more of a Western esoteric tradition in regards to this as well. And it's probably things you've already heard or you've already come across. So I'll be mentioning a little bit about that and a little bit about the Kabbalistic four worlds, because modern witchcraft is sort of a bit of a mishmash now of the Western esoteric tradition and pagan tradition. So it's kind of expanded in various different philosophies and points of view. Okay, welcome Moira, welcome Robert, Angelie, Sandy, and J Dog, if you're still there. Welcome to the live. And welcome to Pluto going into Aquarius and leaving Capricorn for the last time for 200 odd years. So we're really in a new era now, and let's hope the Aquarian era brings us freedom to the people and allows us to wake up to who and what we truly are, and get back to community again and get back to being sovereign beings that we truly are. And that's a part of what we're talking about too. The fact that we're magical beings and we are the creators or co-creators here in the universe. And we've been hoodwinked into believing that we're not. So we need to change that. Now, if anybody wants to know where to start their witchcraft practice because you're totally new to it all, or even if you've been aware of it for a while, and you're just a bit confused about where do I start, what do I do, I am going to drop in a link to my free masterclass. So that's a much longer video. It's about 40 minutes and it's called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. I'm going to pop that link in the description field below this video. It's already there actually. I'm going to now put it in the chat as well. Because we're talking about magic, I'm also going to just throw in the spellcaster checklist for those of you who don't have it. And that's just a checklist. It tells you at the beginning about magic and some of the key components of magic, what makes magic really work. And then you get a checklist of things that you can think about and tick off as you're planning your spells. So there's 2 freebies there. You can also grab these on my website, mysterywitchschool.com, under the freebies tab. And all the links to all my freebies and my courses are in the description field below this video as well. Hi, Ricardo. How are you? Awesome. So let's get started on this manifestation. And of course, if you want to join in on the conversation, please do so on the chat and also in the replay. Don't forget, there's also super chat and super thanks if you really like the video and you want to support the channel to keep it all going, basically, keep it all happening. So we're going to explore desire and the concept of how your desires are already present within the universe as limitless potential, and how you can align yourself, line up your energy, your focus, your belief with your intentions so that you can bring these things more into your life and create the life that you're actually wanting to live. Now, there is a belief, and this is something that comes in the Western esoteric tradition, that all creation already exists. There is nothing new to create. Everything is already created. It's already there, which means that every vision that you have, every desire that you have, the possibility of it, the potential of it, is already existing somewhere within the multiverse or in the universe or the spirit realm or various levels of astral realm, however you want to perceive it. that it already exists, and that when you're having the desire, you're starting to tap into that and align yourself with that. And even desires, sometimes we can even feel that desires are somehow channeled, that we're channeling a desire somehow. Or things sometimes just line up without us even having to think too much about uh, making it happen in regards to magic or manifestation because we're already aligned with it. Amazing miracles do happen. And so there's this belief that creation already exists and that every desire that you have has the potential to be realized because it's already there. And you could call this the Akashic Records, you could call this the collective unconsciousness, you could call it the field. There's lots of different names, different traditions call them different things. So when we're tapping into our desires and what it is that we're doing magic for, it's not something we have to chase down. It's not something that we've got to run after. And within the Western esoteric tradition, it's basically advised that we don't chase after it, we don't run after it, which is a very difficult thing to do because we're told in the material world that we need to, strive, 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 chase, chase, chase. When in a spiritual context, it's actually more of a receptive energy. The will side is the conscious envisioning of what it is that we're wanting to create, putting in the effort to imagine it, but the energy of receiving it is the opposite end of the polarity. It's the receiving energy. So we're working with yin and yang. We're working with the active and the passive energy when we're doing magic. And so we're calling forth what it is that we're wanting to experience from the potential that's already out there. And when we look at the Kabbalah, we look at the four worlds. We have the world of Ashia, which is the world we're in the physical realm, the realm of manifestation. We've got Yetzirah, which is sort of often equated to the astral realm. We've got then we've got Bria, which is the more creative, conceptual sort of realm, and then you've got Absolute at the top, which is that first inkling or need for something to happen. So when you're talking about manifestation, this is in relationship to the four worlds, in relation to relationship to manifestation. So you may have a need for something or an idea for something that's not there. An example that's often used is you need to sit on something. So maybe you want to sit down on something. So that would mean, what would I sit on? You get an idea or a need to have something. Then in the world of Bria, you are thinking of an idea of something to sit on, a plank or something, and you start to toy around with ideas of what could be that you need to sit on, or and then start to think of that a little bit more. You start to design the idea of a chair or a seat. You think of what that chair or seat's going to look like. You then end up in Yetzirah, which is like the blueprint, and then you go ahead and you work out how you're going to make that chair. And then you put all the pieces together, and in a shear, you have a chair to sit on. And so magic is like that. It's like you're working with things conceptually, you're working with your imagination, and you bring these things into reality through your magic and the actions that you take from where the magic guides you and where the magic leads you. So it's like you're bringing things down from this uh, totally abstract realm into something that's more concrete and more tangible. So it's coming from accessing the unseen, as some traditions would say. And while you're doing this process, you're aligning your energy with the vibration of what it is that you want to desire. And if you just treat it as a matter of fact, like I want this, so I'm going to focus on this and allow it to take me to where it is that I need to go in order to experience it. If we didn't have anything in the way of that, we would be manifesting a lot more than what we're probably manifesting now. And the process of all of this requires focus, it requires the clarity and the intention on a consistent level. But a really powerful aspect of it all is, of course, imagination, because we're doing all of this in our imagination. We're experiencing the desire in our body, we're experiencing that need, and then we give imagination to it. We start to create it in our mind and put it all together often in our mind. And so, this imagination, whether it's visualization, whether it's hearing something, whether it's feeling something, is not just daydreaming. I mean, daydreaming can be entertaining, but to make it really useful, having that daydreaming there with that real sense of experiencing it and having the desire to wanting to really experience it can help bring things into our reality. And it's focusing our attention on that. What we are focus our attention on is often what comes about. And we're simply lining our energy up to what it is that we want. And the energetic realm, the consciousness realm, spirit realm then responds to that energy by meeting it. Some traditions say the universe is like reflecting back to you what it is that you're putting out to it. So it's just reflecting back. It without any judgment whatsoever. It just reflects back what you put out. It's another way of looking at it. Okay, I'm just going to go to the comments now. Okay, Mary Meet, hi Maura. Do we need to recognize that sometimes there are desires that are outside the realm of possibility? Well, in theory, anything that you could possibly imagine or desire has the potential to be made manifest. Maybe not immediately, it might take generations. So, for example, scientific breakthroughs and things like that, maybe things that people have imagined further in the past, it may take time for it to manifest because certain physical things need to be in place in order for some things to manifest. But the theory is across pretty much most esoteric traditions that if you're conceptualizing, you're desiring it, then it has the potential to be made manifest, believe it or not. So it really depends on how practical it is and what has to line up in order for it to manifest. And it could take time for something like that to happen. And also, when we're manifesting things, often there's other people involved and other situations that have to line up first before it can happen. So timing is something that we have to be aware of too. Now, one of the things that I talk about a lot, and a lot of people talk about these days, is what can interfere with your magic, and that's simply the limiting beliefs that are blocking the manifestation. Because when we believe something, we feel it, and we feel it as if it's real, even though it's actually in our imagination, it's in our subconscious mind. We experience that which we believe in our body. We have the experience of it. And we can experiment with that by simply using our imagination and going back into maybe a memory or imagining something really wonderful happening and noticing that in your body as you do that, as you use your imagination to imagine that you're eating an orange, for example, if you like oranges, you will actually start to salivate. Like the body will respond to the imagination of eating an orange, for example. So we do feel in our body what our imagination is creating and experiencing. So being aware of that, and which means we're also experiencing in our body the limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves and the world. And that can stop us from acting in ways we need to act in order to bring those manifestations to us and create energetic blocks as well. And that's something that is probably the hardest work aspect of magic, is dealing with our negative thoughts and our beliefs, or our limiting thoughts and our beliefs, and totally stepping into the true realization that we are sovereign beings who have the freedom to be able to experience what we want to experience in this world. But we've got all of these beliefs coming at us that we've learned from past lives and our childhood in this life, that stop us from being able to move forward like that. It's like there's some force out there that doesn't want us to realize the truth of who and what we are, that's some sort of force that's against our evolution. And hopefully with the Aquarian age, we have another chance to be able to step into this aspect of ourselves. So our beliefs can create emotions in us like fear, anger, frustration, and this creates blockages energetically and from a behavior perspective as well. And this is what can often cloud the spell work or cause the spell work to basically fail. Or you might have the spell might seem like it's starting to work, and then bang, something happens. It fizzles out for some reason, and often that's simply because something hasn't happened on your behalf because you've been blocking it. And it's about being aware of these things. So when you do find that there's obstacles or that there's challenges in your way to manifesting what you want to manifest, see it more as an invitation to look within yourself and ask yourself, what part of me is doubting that this could possibly happen? It's okay to have sort of a healthy sort of sense of, is this possible? But sometimes we have this belief and that someone like me can't have this as an outcome. People like me can't do this or have this. People like us can't do this or have this. I'm not allowed to do this or have this. The divine doesn't want me to have this or do this. The goddess, the god, whoever doesn't want me to have this, or they want me to work hard for it. I have to prove that I'm good enough to be able to have what it is that I want. And when you're on the spiritual path, you have to work hard and you've got to, go through all of this hard stuff in order to be worthy of getting what it is that you want at the end of it all. We have all of these beliefs, and these beliefs are actually in the way of you actually really being able to experience the freedom of who you truly are and being able to be comfortable and patient in regards to knowing that everything you already want is already here. And that if you haven't experienced it yet in this physical reality, it is coming. It is there. You just have to get out of your own way. And that's where the work is. The work is in getting out of your own way. Some things are easy to manifest for some people who are probably maybe more confident in yourselves and your ability to be able to create, may find magic quite easy. It may be something that you don't struggle with at all because you've already got that subconscious belief there that anything is possible for you. And it's just a matter of you knowing what it is that you want and working towards achieving that. Others of us have a lot more doubt and guilt and shame blocking us from having what it is that we want. So, looking at these obstacles or any challenges as just simply meaning that you're not there yet in regards to being the person on a mental emotional level that you need to be to have what it is that you want. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person, it doesn't mean that you're a failure, it doesn't mean you're not worthy, it simply means that you just don't believe it. You don't believe you're there yet. You don't have the conviction and the belief that you're capable of having what it is that you want to have. And it's just a matter of working with that. I've done all kinds of different types of techniques and work on when it comes to shadow work on myself and also with people that I work with one-on-one. You probably know I just recently released the course A Journey with Hecate, which is a shadow work course which does take you to that stepping into who you truly are. And as you try to do that, you're going to come up with the discomfort. You're going to come up with all the reasons why you can't be that version of yourself. And that's the stuff you get to work on, and you work on that with Hecate, because I found that Hecate has helped me tremendously with this kind of work for myself. Before I started working with her, it was a lot harder, believe me. So she does definitely makes it easier to do this work. And the more I work with her on chipping away at all of these beliefs, the more you do. I am waking up to the fact that I am a more free and sovereign being than I thought I was, and you will too as you do this work. So this is this is magic working on yourself, not just trying to change the outside world, but actually making yourself the version of you that is aligned with all of the things that you want in your life. So you're doing the magic on yourself by lining up with it. It's like you're just getting rid of all the stuff that's in the way of you experiencing the magic that you're doing. It's an inside out uh, experience. And so view your problems and your obstacles and your challenges as just simply messages from the universe that might be helping you maybe clarify more of what you want as well. You may be asking for the wrong thing, or you may be focusing on the wrong thing. Really ask yourself, what is it I actually want? What do I want to feel at the end of the day from my magic? What's the feeling I'm looking for? And focus on the feeling. It can be a bit scary to just focus on the feeling of what you're wanting to experience. A lot of the time for money magic, for example, we're focused on the money, we're focused on the amount of money, and often maybe we're thinking about what we're going to be doing with the money when we're using visualization and our imagination. But what at the end of the day, it's not actually the money that we're wanting to experience. We're wanting to experience the feelings that come with having the money and what money brings. It brings choices, it brings more freedom. It means that you have the ability to be able to have the material things you need to have. It can bring you a sense of security. It can bring you more of a sense of safety. So they're the actual things we're looking for: the freedom, the choices, the safety, the security. So if you can imagine you already have that on a feeling level and expand that to your material world, then you're starting to align more with what it is that you're truly wanting. And that's when the magic starts to take off. So it's understanding the feeling behind what you're wanting. What does it feel like to know that you have all the money you could ever want or need for the rest of your life to do the things you want to do with? Now, that doesn't mean the magic's going to bring you a lotto win, but you never know. The magic could be bringing you things that are steady stream of income, or it brings you income at particular points in time when you need it. But knowing that the universe is always going to bring you what it is that you need in that material sense, and having conviction that that is how it is. This is what the surrendering aspect is to the magic. So it's and allowing the universe and the magic to work in the way that is best for you. For some people, it might be great to have a whole lump sum of money land in the bank account. For other people, it might be more advantageous to have it just trickle in, so that it's a steady income, or come in when it's needed. It really just depends on what is best for you. So when you're doing your magic, you want to make sure that you're aligning with what is best for you. The same with love. It's what is it that you're wanting the relationship to fulfill in you? What are you looking for? Companionship, someone to share things with, someone to maybe create with. What is it you're looking for? What is it that you're wanting to feel? What are you wanting to experience? And focus on those feelings and allow yourself to have those feelings. And if you find that there's a conflict there, like there's resistance to allowing yourself to feel what it feels like to have all of that, that's your resistance. And that's the resistance is coming from beliefs. Either beliefs that you don't deserve it, you're not worthy, it's not possible for you, God doesn't want you to have it, the goddess doesn't want you to have it, spiritual people shouldn't have these things, you've got to work hard for it, you've got to prove that you're good enough for it. What are so and so going to say? Who are you going to be if you suddenly have all of these things and are doing all of these things? Am I going to be a bad person? Is it going to make me selfish? All of this stuff's going on up here. Yap, 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 yap. It's important to identify the yap yap. Because when you identify what you're saying to yourself that's actually stopping you from allowing yourself to feel these feelings and really feel into it, and know that you are allowed to have these things, you're allowed to have the things you want to have and experience what you want to experience, and it's not going to make you a bad person to have the money you would love to have that financial freedom you want to have, or have the relationship you want to have, or just simply step into who you are and express yourself more as who you are. Do the things you want to be doing in your life. Maybe you're holding yourself back from creative pursuits that you'd like to pursue in your life. And you're just not game to put yourself out there in regards to your creativity. Well, you can understand what is the resistance to doing that. Maybe there's a fear of criticism, a fear of people, the naysayers. There's always going to be those. They're always going to be there. And they're part of the obstacles and the challenges. So when you do have that conflict, whether it's coming from other people or just coming from your own head, just see it as an opportunity to learn more about yourself and to inquire more about how you're reacting to these things, so that you can learn more about you and go in and change that. And that's what I do with the Wheels of Empowerment course and with the Journey with Hecate, is help you, give you the tools that you can use to change those beliefs and those fears into the opposite, stepping more into that confidence of knowing who and what you truly are. It's important in manifestation not to have resistance, not to have these blockages that are telling us people like us can't do this or can't have that for whatever reason, because it is going to stifle your ability to really feel into the end result when you are doing the magic, and to be able to keep having the experiences that you're wanting to have. It's really is an inside out thing. And the methods that I like to use to work on this resistance is meditation, and really putting oneself in understanding how I'm feeling in the present moment. So what does the doubtful person feel, the doubtful version of myself feel, and how am I feeling that in my body so that I'm aware of it? And then transforming that, or giving that up, basically give that up to Hecate, and let her have it. Let her do what she does with it. And then allow myself then to imagine the version of me that is experiencing the things I want to experience, who is being the me that I want to be, for example, and allowing myself to have the experience of that. And if there is any resistance to it, then I can take note of what that resistance is, write it down, and then in the next meditation session, I will work on that. Or I might add some tapping to that with some reframes, so that I find that the belief I'm not allowed, for example, is a belief that's come up for me a lot. And I've also noticed it's a common one for other people too. It's almost like there's this force out there, and you can't even put your finger on what the force is, but it's like something somewhere is telling you you're not allowed. It probably comes from our childhood, and being told we're not allowed, of course, but it's almost like our subconscious is still running that program, "I'm not allowed." So, what if you are allowed? What if I am allowed to do or have whatever it is that you're wanting? Just asking that what if question, especially when you're tapping, it does wonders to change the belief system. So, my problem is I focus on too many things instead of one or two. It is good to have one thing. One thing, because if you're scattering your energy, you could also create overwhelm and anxiety out of that, because it's like you're trying to do too much. So Yes, try to focus on one thing at a time. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt, like, if you've got a big overall vision of something that you're wanting to experience for yourself, it doesn't hurt to have that big vision and to spend some time being in your imagination in that vision, and that might mean that a few things have to happen, that there is more than one thing going on there. You know, you might have this vision of living in a particular place with in a particular relationship, and you might have a particular house in mind with a particular outlook in mind, and there might be a garden and there might be pets, so you might be including all of these things in the big vision, the big goal vision, and allowing yourself to feel into that. And then when it comes to the breaking it down into smaller pieces, you can get more refined with what do I feel is the next step for me, what do I want to focus on next. Okay, do we need to recognize? I've already read that one. All the stuff going on up there. So true. Yes. Fear of success. Yes, we have fear of success. And the fear of success can involve a lot of other beliefs underneath that. So you might notice there's a fear of success, but what beliefs are underneath that fear of success? What's going to happen to me if I succeed? Is that going to make me a bad person? Is so and so and so and so going to get upset? Uh, will I feel like a fraud or an imposter? Uh, am I allowed to have success? Uh, try and find what those beliefs are underneath the fear of success, because there's more beliefs under that one. And the fear of fear itself is definitely a true one as well. I think I've done videos on my tapping channel, the Sandra and tapping, on fear of success and the fear of fear as well, because we can be afraid of being afraid. And that's a great one to tap on, the fear of fear. I'm afraid of being afraid. And to tap on that and just allow that energy to go down your body, down through your feet, down into the ground, and ground yourself when you're feeling the fear of fear. What if you can feel fear and still be safe at the same time? Questions like that. What if I can be afraid and safe at the same time? Thinking about what beliefs are underneath the fear of fear. So there's always beliefs underneath beliefs underneath beliefs. And that's what we track down when we're doing the shadow work, is finding out what those are. There's a lot of meditation that is in a journey with Hecate, because the meditations I've found have been great at helping transform into the feeling. So you really start to get a sense of the feeling of who you are truly, because you've got that compared to who you feel you are now, or who you feel you don't want to feel anymore, such as the doubt and self-consciousness, or whatever it is that you're not happy with, and then feeling into the opposite of that. So you're having the experience of it, and also doing other techniques like tapping and ritual work too. I find even doing ritual work with Hecate in regards to beliefs really, really helps to transform and change those beliefs as well. And all of this, of course, will affect your magic. And you may even find that you're doing less magic when you're doing this work, because you start to realize that the magic really is you. You are the magic. And you're working with the universal wisdom all the time. We are always connected to source, to spirit, to the universe. And goddesses like Hecate are, are beings that have already achieved this. They've already achieved these things. She's already achieved this. You know, she's the goddess of witchcraft. And so she already knows these things. And she also knows how you can get to where she is, be like her. And that's what you're doing when you're working with Hecate. You're working with her energy, and you're stepping into that version of you that is like her. That is, the god or goddess of witchcraft and magic and co-creation. You're stepping into that aspect of yourself, that part of you that is like Hecate. So it's not like Hecate's up here and you're down here, and she's always going to be like a being that you have to worship and do all of those things. That's an old way of perceiving deity. It's a much more primitive way of of our evolution of perceiving deity. We have to realize that we are like the deities, that we are like them. And Hecate seems very keen to help us do that, to help us realize that. So, tuning into divine guidance, asking Hecate or whichever deity you work with, you might work with other deities, asking them for help, always asking them to help light your way, to guide you in what it is that you're struggling with. If you're struggling with a particular type of magic, asking a deity that you work with to help guide you as to how can you make this better? How can you make it work? What is it that you're missing? What do you need to know? And if you're working with Hecate, then she's going to let you know straight away, almost instantly, what it is that you need to work with and what you need to change. If you're doing a ritual with her, and within that ritual, so say you're doing a daily practice with Hecate and you're asking her that question, and then you allow yourself maybe to pull a tarot card or go into a bit of meditation, the answer will come to you immediately of what it is that you need to change or look at in order to make the magic work better for you. Okay, so true. I had a problem with a boss, and in a dream, I was given the spell to get rid of the problem, and it worked. Yes, I think it was Hecate. Yeah, absolutely. She will. She will totally do that. That's why in a journey with Hecate, I've done um, meditations and ritual. And then I think I introduced the tapping in module 3. So you start to learn that there's body work, I guess you could say tapping is, to change the beliefs and things so that you've got kind of 3 different angles to get at this and work with this. Okay. And of course, you've got Hecate as well in the meditation as well as in the ritual. So I think it's about trust too. A lot of us still don't trust our intuition. A lot of us don't know sometimes the difference between our intuition and our fear. And really, the intuition is a knowingness. It is a knowing that everything is okay, or that something is going to, that particular choice needs to be made, or that something isn't okay. It's a knowing feeling. Often you will feel it in the heart chakra. So it is a knowing in your entire body or your beingness that something is or something isn't, whereas fear tends to be felt as emotional tension in particular parts of the body, such as your stomach, for example. It could be felt in your neck and in your body. Usually you'll have an emotional response when it comes to fear. And fear is often very it's uncomfortable and a stuck kind of feeling. Whereas if your intuition is warning you against something, it's going to feel different. It's going to be a lighter feeling. You might feel a flutter maybe in the stomach, or you may feel something in the heart chakra. You will feel something, or even up in your head area, but it's going to be more of an energetic feeling rather than the way that fear itself works from an ego perspective. It's hard to explain the difference because they're different feelings, and the differences are subtle. But if you sort of practice listening to them, you can get a sense of what's intuitive versus what's ego fear. And that's something you will come to feel more into the more you step more into who you truly are, because you start to trust yourself more and you start to trust your own decisions more and are less inclined to be persuaded or cajoled or influenced by other people or situations that may be trying to influence you against your best interests. So it makes you a lot stronger within yourself when you're doing this kind of work. And this is what the magical process is. In the Western esoteric tradition, it's not just about conjuring things you want in your life, having, lots of money and love and all of these things. It's actually about you becoming who you truly are, and that's what high magic is all about, and the deeper aspects of magic are all about. Okay. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense. I'm trying to come from a different angle to how I normally come at it. But magic can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. A very simple way of working with magic is to center yourself, write down what it is that you want so that you've got a physical act of writing it down in a sentence, or you could design it as a sigil. Light a candle, so you're getting a sense of ritual, a sense of atmosphere. Put the energy of your desire into the candle itself. You could even dedicate the flame to the energy of your desire and see your desire there flaming away. Speak out your desire, your petition, the thing you've written down, and then feel it. Go into your imagination, allow yourself to experience the end result as if it's already happening. Let go, relax, and allow yourself to feel it. Just feel it. What emotions are you feeling? Now, your emotions when you do magic don't have to be full on intense emotions. They can be emotions that are just simply the content of knowing you're already experiencing it. Because if you already have experienced what you're wanting to experience, you're probably going to feel more of a contentedness with the situation and a joy in the situation rather than an overwhelming emotion. It's probably going to be something that's actually a little bit more laid back if it's really, really happening. So focusing on that. You only need to do that for a minute or two. You don't have to do it for all day. And then allow the candle to burn down and go about your day acting as if it's already happened. That's as simple as magic is. It's that simple. Really that simple. That's why I prefer simple spells. That's why in the Witch's Guide to Magic, I have very simple spells in that course. So make it easy. Don't make it too difficult. It's really what you believe. Your desires already exist. You just need to allow them to. You need to allow yourself to experience them, so that you're experiencing them in real time, and understand that you are a co-creator with the universal forces, that you are a divine being, that when you're working with deities like Hecate, you are becoming like them, remembering who you are. I think that's the big thing, is remember who you are. It's about remembering what we are. We've got amnesia, we've forgotten. We need to remember who and what we are, and allow ourselves to step into who we truly are without the fear of stepping into that power. The fear of the power aspect is the biggest fear, and it can be very overwhelming. It can be almost be to the point where you feel you're never going to get there, that there's always this ceiling between who you feel you are now to who you know you could be. So if you imagine yourself as the powerful version of yourself, there can be a lot of fear there. And I think that's because we associate power with something that is brute force, when power isn't brute force. Power is actually something very expansive and very free, and not brute force at all. It's not force. Um, and I think it's because we think that. We think, oh, if I step into my power, does that mean I'm going to become a bad person, a greedy person, a dark person in regards to energy? And that does not happen at all. You just simply become more aware of your connection to the universe, your connection to spirit, and that this is a place where you get to create what you want to create. That's all it is. And you have the confidence and conviction to know that that is true. That's all it is. It's nothing scary at all. That is all it is. And yet we're so afraid of feeling that, so afraid of it. We've been made to feel fear of it, and that's not the situation at all. Okay. So if you're looking, I mean, I've got a lot of courses now on the mysterywitchschool.com. I've got them all listed under my videos. The latest one is a journey with Hecate. So this is really getting down with the heavy work with Hecate, doing a lot of meditation, ritual, turning up daily. This is a course where you do need to turn up daily to work with Hecate, not because she's going to do bad things to you if you don't, but just simply because this is the nature of this particular type of work. You got to do it regularly. It's like if you're learning an instrument, you got to practice your instrument pretty much every day, or at least 5 days a week. It's like that with this work because you're reprogramming yourself and also developing a relationship with Hecate too. So that is the latest course that's out there, A Journey with Hecate. And I'll just also say for those of you who are new, maybe you're not into working with Hecate, you just want to learn witchcraft, you're just wanting to know where to start and what to do. You're not necessarily even wanting to do the deep dive shadow work either. You're just wanting to get better at magic, get better at walking the witch's path, and bringing witchcraft into your life as a spiritual practice every day. That's my Mystery Witch School 101 Academy course, which is the first course I actually created. And it is a good place to start. If you are just starting out your witchcraft journey and you're wondering where to start, that is the place to start, the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, because that gives you 12 months of all the basics of Wicca and witchcraft and the practices. And then by that stage, you're actually ready then to go on and work more solidly with the shadow work and with other things as well. Now, with the Journey with Hecate, there's another course that's involved with that too. It is shadow work with tarot. So there's kind of two courses with that Journey with Hecate course, because I wanted to incorporate tarot into the work, but tarot being tarot, it kind of ended up being a mini course. So I've just added that as a bonus course to A Journey with Hecate. The Mystery Witch School 101 course also includes another course as well, or another two courses actually. It includes The Witch's Guide to Magic, which is a course on magic, and also the daily practice course, which teaches you how to set up a daily practice. So with both A Journey with Hecate and Mystery Witch School 101, you're actually getting two courses or more for the same price as one course. So that's pretty good value, and it does keep you busy. Okay. So there won't be a live next week because we'll be doing new moon with the Mystery Witch School. So we'll be doing a new moon next Monday morning, my time. And I may schedule the live for Tuesday, my time, Tuesday morning, same time. So for most of you, that's probably Monday evening instead of Sunday evening. So watch out for that next week. It'll be at a different time. Okay, everybody, thank you for attending, and I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments field, of course, what your experiences are with magic and how you're experiencing working with magic, particularly if you're new to it. And we will see you next week. So blessed be.